So today I'm giving you a tour of my Northwoods cabin made by Northwoods Cabin Company after owning it for 6 months. Let's have a look. So this cabin has a covered porch, which is, I believe, one of the most important features you can have on a cabin. And this porch is facing south. The other thing I added later is a outdoor 20 amp outlet. I actually have two 15 amp outlets that run into a 20 amp service on the inside. And I think that's important if you want to charge your laptop while you're working out here, or you can plug your lights in. And if you turn around, you know, my outside lights going to the woodshed are plugged into this outlet. So let's go on the inside. Let me show you what I have. So walking into the cabin, on the right hand side when you first walk in is a wood stove. This particular wood stove is a Yodel 602. And Northwoods Cabin Company put in the pipe through the roof, and they did a really nice job. It is exactly 20 inches away from the wall on both sides, which is, most wood stove will have this requirement. This cabin has full electrical. You will see outlets throughout. And then you go into the center area of the cabin, and you know, one of the main features of this cabin is a solar setup. And Northwoods Cabin Company does offer this solar setup. It is a 52 volt battery. It is 5.1 kilowatt hours. It's a server rack battery. It has internal heaters built in, so it can be charged, you know, below freezing. And the components are all premium components. So this is a Victron inverter, and it's a 3000 watt inverter, continuous. It's rated for 100% duty cycle. It has a peak output, I think, of 5500 watts and a continuous output of 3000 watts. There's an MPPT charge controller, which is a 150 volt charge controller. And then there's a bus bar system. So walking into the kitchen area, I have a kitchen table that I bought on Amazon, and I leave links in the description for you. And you can pull this out. It is slightly lower than the countertop that goes all the way across the back of the cabin. This is a very, very nice countertop, and you have all kinds of room for cooking and preparing food. And of course, in my case, you know, running a YouTube channel, you charge your devices. I have batteries here, and I have a ham radio for emergency communication. I have a couple of bar stools you can pull out, so you can sit here with your buddies and you can talk, drink beer, or whatever you do. I have smaller chairs right here, so you can pull this entire table out. My cabin has a sink. This sink goes to the outside. It's just gray water, so it just runs right out. It's mainly for washing hands. I don't do dishes in here. Cutting board, knife, paper towels, plenty of outlets. And if you look underneath the sink, I do have a 7-gallon water tank right here that goes into a pump, into a battery system. And I do have pressurized cold water in my sink, but hot water also wouldn't be an issue. What I want to tell you right here is you can have a private conversation right here with another person. You can stand here in this area, in this kitchen area, and people are in front of the wood stove, and you can have a private conversation. It really feels like a completely different room, so it is very private. Over here I have a barn door, and all my tools are in here. It's pretty messy, so I apologize for the mess, but you know, we are off grid here, so a lot of electrical stuff, and there's plenty of room in here, and I could put the solar battery in here to free up my closet. You know, that's another option. Pretty nice. I think that's a pretty premium setup here. It looks really nice, barn door. I have a full electrical panel. I have generator hookup on the outside, and everything you need is right here, including air conditioning and heat pump, which is very good. So going back into the main area, let me focus your attention on the upper left. So this is my heat pump slash air conditioning unit, and it runs on 120 volts. It's completely solar powered. It cools the cabin down in the summertime within a couple of minutes. Coming in here on the right, you see the remote control of my air conditioning unit. You can just pick it up and you can dial in whatever temperature you want. So here on the right hand side, I took the ladder down. I usually have it all the way up there in the loft, and I do have a front loft. So if you have kids, you would probably have this area set up for kids, and you know, plenty of power outlets. There are 2 outlets on the left side. I put some LED lights in here, and 2 outlets on the right side, so your kids could plug in their devices, charge their devices. So coming back down here, I have a TV set up, and it's almost completely hovering in midair. I have a little bit of wires showing at the bottom. And this TV I use, you know, with my iPhone. I have a shelf back here, so I just put my iPhone on here. I plug in my iPhone, and it works very well. I just download some Netflix stuff and watch this off grid. It works very well. Ladder is usually not down. I usually keep it stored up here, so it looks a little bit cleaner. So going up the stairs, I want to show you what this looks like. So underneath the couch here, there's a storage compartment. It's pretty large. You can almost put a dog kennel in there. It's pretty large. So Northwoods Cabin Company utilizes all the storage underneath the first step of these stairs, I think very, very efficiently. And if you go into these steps, every one of these steps has storage underneath it. So here are a lot of my batteries, my electronics, my wood stove gaskets, you know, all the things you need all the time in the first step. Second step has, what's in here? Fire starters, mosquito repellent, you know, that kind of stuff. Third step is like really deep. I have more fire starters and electronics, you know, that kind of stuff. The other one has, this is shallow. It has like socks and underwear and deodorant and wet wipes. You know, if people come out to my cabin and they get wet feet, you know, I just tell them like, yeah, okay, here's some additional, here's some dry clothes. And here are towels and t-shirts, you know, that kind of thing. So, very smart design, I have to say. Going up to your loft here, I have LED lights around the floor here. This is a full-size bed. This window looks out the north, which is really nice, really convenient. You can lay here and man, you can look out the window and you can see deer and you can see wildlife. I think it's really nice. And look at this. Northwoods Cabin Company offers a catwalk. You can connect these two lofts together. I'm not quite sure how they do it, but just talk to them. They'll make it happen somehow. Yeah, going back down. So what would I do differently? And if I had to build this cabin again, you know, what would I improve upon? And there's only one item of all these features here. And let me show you what this is. Sorry, this light in the kitchen area is in the middle of the kitchen area. Okay, so if you're standing right here, and let's say I have my cutting board, and watch this, if I'm stepping forward, and if I'm cutting things on my cutting board, there's a little bit of a shadow. So the only thing I would even remotely improve with this cabin is to move this light forward over here so you have more of a working light. But other than that, this cabin really, really meets my expectations. The other thing you could possibly do is I have a full countertop all the way across. If you do need more room back here, maybe for like a dining table, you could ask them to cut off the countertop right here, and then, you know, this would open up for like a nice dining area. So you can entertain maybe more people, maybe 6 people, you know, that kind of thing. But everything else is pretty much perfect. You know, with a off-grid cabin comes an off-grid bathroom, of course, and also you need dry firewood, right? And dry firewood is a game changer. And I do have a bathroom which is near my other cabin. So here we are coming up to my small woodshed, and this woodshed is great. It has a lot of firewood in it, and of course besides the firewood there's a cubby on the end which most people would use for things. I don't know, usually clutter, so I took a different approach. So let me open this up for you. Let me turn the lights on. Okay, so this is my off-grid bathroom, and this bathroom has a composting toilet, and this particular one is made by Nature's Head. I believe it's one of the best ones there is, so I'll leave a link in the description for you. I have lights in here. You can go in, you can do your business. Now there's always a question of, okay, where do you take a shower? And I do not have that completely figured out yet. Okay, so I'm working on an off-grid shower setup, and I can certainly take a shower with the setup that I currently have, and I did make a video on it. I use electricity to heat up water, and it's good enough for me, but I do not have a shower house setup. And this is my woodshed, and I also have a light switch here. And if you have a cabin, I would highly recommend you get a woodshed. And this one, I believe is 10 by 14 feet. And I love this woodshed. Northwoods Cabin Company put it on this gravel pad, and it's perfect. It is close enough to my cabin that I can run lights out here. On the inside, you can see I have one of the light bulbs on the inside. I have a 120 volt outlet right here, 325 watts. I have storage above. I got additional lights with a battery right here. Regular light switch. Just turn it on and off. It doesn't get any easier than this. And you're out of the elements. You have your firewood. I have a tree stand right here, a climbing tree stand. You have, I keep my beer out here because it's nice and cold. I have charcoal. I have firewood carriers. I have sunflower seeds for my birds. And during hunting season, I keep my hunting gear out here, you know, to keep it scent free. So that's all I have for you today, and I'll see you guys on the next one.